What are your thoughts of Sting? Because you know where this
Sting.
question's going to go.
Oh, goodness.
Just ask you a little bit.
I'm very glad he's very successful. Someone else I really didn't get to spend a lot of time with. He had just come into the business with his partner at the time, tag team.
Jim Hellwig, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, the Ultimate Warrior. We did a lot of carpooling together, and he was from California. I was from California, so we had a lot to talk about. And I think at the time he had a Gold's Gym or something like that. So another one, I really don't know that much about him. He just kind of became successful because at that time I'd gone off, meaning I was out of Midsouth Sports. Bill had sold the company.
Going back to Sting, there's a very famous rumor. It's talked about amongst all the boys, and it's known in the business. What exactly happened with Dick Slater where he beat up Sting and dunked his head in the toilet? Because I guess he crossed the line with you, and I guess Dick got very jealous.
Right. Now, I heard the story, and then I've heard the story through 3 people. Okay. I heard the story secondhand. I wasn't there, that Dick Slater grabbed Sting or sucker punched him from the back, and they started into a little brawl, and that he got pushed into the bathroom stall. Now, I never heard that he got his head flushed in the toilet. That part I don't believe. I talked to Grizz Smith. He and I used to do a lot of traveling. Most of my time traveling on the road was with Grizz Smith. He told me the story. And I said, well, that's terrible. And he said, yeah. I said, why didn't somebody break it up? He said, because, DJ, if 2 guys have a gripe and they're in the business and you let it go out on the road, it's going to happen again. He said, so they started pushing people away and allowing them to just finish it up right there. I never heard the story about getting the head flush in the toilet from Grizz. Buzz Sawyer couldn't wait to come home and tell me, oh, your pretty boy got his face flushed. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting it all wrong. Not his face, but he got his face punched in. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. So between Buzz Sawyer, Grizz, and Sting told me himself that's what happened. But he never told me about the toilet part. I don't think it would happen. Now, I can understand why Sting might say that and actually be trying to look good and say, no, that didn't happen. My face didn't go in the toilet. But I heard that he got pushed into the toilet stall.
Did you continue to talk to Sting after that incident, or did Sting stay away from you?
That was it.
Okay.
That was it. Because they were trying to break, they just got there. They're trying to break into the business.
They didn't want to.
They want to just keep their job. It's not worth it.
Was there anything going on between you and Sting at the time?
No.
Or was just him flirting maybe? Or?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, he probably thought, like anybody, cute girl, we're both from California. It's like anybody. We traveled, not him and I. There's a lot of us, we always carpool and travel together. Most of the time I did the shots with him. At that time, we were in a van. We'd sit together. And I do know that his partner at the time would get mad because he'd be sitting in the back. We'd be laughing, having a good time. Right. And then he would just kind of get mad because, you shouldn't be there messing up the gimmick.
What are your memories of Jim Hellwig, who later on became the Ultimate Warrior?
That was my last memory, that he probably didn't like me. He's probably just mad. He's just trying to break into the business, and here's a distraction. So that's all I remember of him. He seemed okay.
Were you surprised at the success that he made into the business?
Yes, both of them. Yeah. I mean, I look at it today. You never would have thought that where our lives were right then, that look at us today. Look at, look at them. Good for them.
How did the promotion change when Bill Watts changed it to UWF and tried to take the company into a larger market and become a national company? Were you aware of what was going on, or were you just pretty much just making the towns? Just
making the towns, but you're saying when he went from Mid-South Sports to, what's it, UWF?
UWF,
right?
yeah.
UWF. No, he's just doing business. He's, trying to save his business.
Memories of working with the Missing Link?
I love the Missing Link. I love him. He's a sweetheart. Him and I did a lot of traveling on the road in that old vintage green Cadillac, and his wife would be the driver, and she'd have a little collar on. And we'd go to different shows with the tinted windows. They were actually nudists, and I actually got to spend time at their place. They lived in a ranch called Ponderosa. It's in Texas, and it's like a 70-acre nudist camp, and sometimes if we were in Baton Rouge and we had shows that we had to do in that area, they would stay at my house. While we were out in Texas, I stayed at their house. I think I was only there once or maybe twice. Well, really interesting. It was my first time at a nudist camp.
Did they make you get naked?
No, it's funny. you know what? Do what you want to do. Just don't try to force me to do anything. No, I woke up. It was really nice. I put like a little t-shirt dress on, and I didn't put a bra and panties on because I wanted to pretend I was one of them. So I felt good because I was naked underneath. So I came out, and the two boys were there. I can't think of their kid's name. Mark.
I don't know.
The two boys were there. They were running around naked. The wife's running around naked. Link's running around naked. And I look out the window of their mobile home, and I see some guy out there walking, and he's got like pants and a white shirt and suspenders. And I'm like, hey, that guy's cheating. He should be naked. Huh. And then Link said, I want you to meet the owner of the facility. I said, okay. So I go to the office, and the secretary's there. And the office is kind of close to the front entrance. Secretary's there. She's fully dressed, because she's presentable. You have to present, yourself to people. So she's so sure I'd come in. And so she invites us into the owner's office, and he's sitting in this large black chair and these big blackout drapes. It's real dark. And he goes, oh, hi. And he stands up. He's got nothing on. He's sitting on like a white towel. And I thought that was interesting. But through the course of the day, I realized everywhere people went, because there's a pool and a recreation area, ping pong and different things, a lot of the people carry towels because I guess you're not supposed to sit just on the furniture naked or something like that. But I thought it was like, what's he sitting just naked but sitting on a towel? But so he stood up, shook my hand, Link introduced me, and then I hung out with the boys for the day. And it was really interesting watching the kids come home from school. And I'm talking about elementary, junior high. The bus lets them out about a half a mile out, and they come walking in. Now, they're all fully dressed. They just got off the school bus. They have their books and that. So they come into the rec hall before they get home because they're distracted children. And they start chasing one of Link's kids around, and they're running, and they're laughing, and they're having, and it was really, really amazing to actually see that they don't see nudity. It was just really, it was such a gift to watch that, And I was like, that's really interesting. And then the two would play ping pong, and their little things would just be going. I'm like, this is interesting. So it was real, it was interesting. The only one more thing on that, I went over a friend's house. I think it was the son's Mark. So they're trying to entertain me while their mom and dad's off for the day. And there's a guy, and they're playing cards. So I start playing cards too. So the guy,
strip poker, right?
No, they already had their clothes off.
Exactly.
They kept trying to get me to lose, though. No. So the guy's trying to make some remark. I see him keep looking at me, trying to make some remark, like, why don't you take your clothes off? Why are you sitting here with the clothes on? And I, basically told him, I said, you do what you want to do, and I'm going to do what I do. Don't force me to do anything. He was just trying to intimidate me, and he couldn't. Then his wife comes home, and she's fully dressed. She has groceries. She puts them on the table, and then she goes in the back room. She comes out naked. So, that's great. What's really interesting is here, I could be over here and have a life of a stripper. And then now over here, no, I'm not taking my clothes off for you.
Yeah.
To this day, what's really, really funny, and I don't know why, I will not get changed in the gym. I will go into a stall before somebody sees me naked. So it's what that is. I don't know. Everybody has their little innuendos, so.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.